Hello, welcome to the third in our iPad music making in the classroom video series, where we combine creative music making with clear curriculum-based learning outcomes. Our first two videos covered the many facets of GarageBand, and here we're going to take things further by looking at another app, Thumbjam. Thumbjam is the best app we've found for simulating the sound and playability of real instruments, and we're going to use it to create a 12-bar blues using percussion, bass, drums and a solo instrument. There are multiple learning outcomes in this lesson set, and pupils will benefit from studying the form and context of the blues before beginning this composition. Unlike our previous two videos, this set of lessons is intended for music specialists, as we will be covering some more advanced aspects of music theory. However, with a little background reading and confidence, it can be delivered by anyone. There are two ways the final composition can be achieved, either with each student playing one instrument or by using Thumbjam's loop facility and layering up different tracks. I will concentrate on the latter, but there is an example of collaborative playing at the end of the video. We will move fast, but you can pause and rewind as many times as is necessary. Okay, we're going to start off by opening up Thumbjam. Here you can see the playing surface with the 1, the 4 and the 5 in different colours, which is going to be very useful to us shortly. We're going to change the instrument, and from the many available, pick the drums. We're going to use an open hi-hat with a nice swing feel and put on our metronome and have a practice playing that. The next thing we need to do is to change the loop parameters so we can create a 2-bar loop. We open up the loop and press loop options and then turn on the fixed loop facility and turn it down to 2 bars. We can now press record and the metronome and record in our part. If for any reason we're not happy with the sound of our part, we can delete the last loop and try again. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to change our instrument to a bass. There are several bass options available, but I'm going to use the bass plucked, so double bass. We also change our scale to a natural minor and our key to D. We're going to use a simple version of the 12-bar blues, shown here. And we can see that the D minor chord, the G minor chord, and the A minor chord are all there, neatly laid out, separated by one other tone each. Visually very clear for our players. Students can now follow the chord progression of the 12-bar blues at whatever level they're able. So that could be crotchets on the tonic. It could be using more than one chord tone, or something more elaborate. When we're ready to record, we need to change our loop length to 12 bars. We then hit record, wait for the count in, and play our line. Now we've had a go at being Max Roach and Charles Mingus, we can have a crack at Herbie Hancock. There's a great grand piano sound, and there's also loads of fantastic synth organ sounds and synthesizers, allowing students to explore different timbres and how that affects the overall tone of the music. We need to make sure the Keep Current Scale key button is switched on, as Thumbjam has different scale and key presence for different instruments. We can see here that the piano has notes very close together, which is great for glissandos but not so good for making chords. But we can change that by decreasing the span, offering us less notes but more space between the notes. We can also change the octave, turning it up and down. In the same way as with the bassline, pupils with limited musical experience can play a simple part. More advanced users can play seventh chords and also develop syncopated rhythms. You can also attach a MIDI keyboard with a camera connector and various other bits of kit. When we're ready, we'll record the keyboard in the same way. We're waiting to near the end of the cycle before we hit record, otherwise the recording loop starts in the wrong place. We've now created a strong rhythmic fabric over which we can develop melodies and improvise. You'll find other ideas for generating melodies in some of our earlier videos, but for now I'm going to create phrases that use only chord tones from each chord, and from there begin to move away and use other tones. For pupils who need more of a challenge, we can start altering our scales, adding extra tones or creating our own scales entirely using the new scale facility. Here all the tones, possible tones of the scale are mapped out and we can choose which ones we want. We can also begin to explore the expressive features of the instrument, such as vibrato, by wiggling our finger. There is also volume control and pitch bending. One goal of this exercise is to show each pupil just how creative they can be and how much fun they can have improvising, so they're more likely to invest the time and energy in picking up an acoustic instrument to the point where they can improvise with it. As we all know, music is a language, and if we can get our pupils communicating with each other through the form of music, we've got a really powerful tool indeed. We're going to add a second instrument using the Load Instrument button and add it to our playing surface. Each instrument has its own scale, octave, and span parameters, so pupils of different abilities can play together using different scales. And we can start now to explore collaborative improvisation. Nice. Finally, we can save and export what we've done to SoundCloud. We save it by going to Loop, Save, and Save Set and Mix Down. Name it. And then go to the Preferences and Export to SoundCloud. So, as you can see, the possibilities here are limited only by our collective imaginations and the amount of contact time we have with our pupils. Keep a lookout for future videos, and good luck with your iPad music making.